Welcome back to another video, series 2, finishing off this beautiful AK Cobra here. So straight into it. Well, it's been a hell of a roller coaster so far, but we got a good pass on the IVA. They're extremely happy with the build, so that's great. Just a retest on the emissions. So that's all sorted now. Now we've got to concentrate on some final parts, which you may not have seen in a video before, and they are the heated seats and soft top, and then we've got a few other little bits to put on. So let's just take a look at what's going on here. Right, so I do always hate going backwards to go forwards, so dash out, that's always a worrying time. Watch out for these studs so they don't scrape your paintwork across the top here of the scuttle when you're taking it out. So it is possible to take this out with the steering wheel still in place, but I just took that off because we're putting a wooden steering wheel on there. So yeah, you just it's quite flexible actually. So really I was flexing it quite a lot and initially leaving kind of this section in place, and just as you free up space for these studs, I raised it at a slight angle so that we could get this section over the indicator stalk slightly, and then as it pops over it frees up everything else and it all pops out. So pretty good there. So what have we got to do here? Well, now I've got better access to put wing mirrors on. I've got to replace these screws here on the vents with these soft top fittings, like that. So we're going to put 4 of those in. I now get a chance to put my rear view mirror on, which is great. Actually, I'd finally been able to do this up so tight that the rear view mirror that I had on this centre stay hardly shook at all. So I was quite impressed with that, and that's quite a good option. But it is really difficult to do this up tight and still be able to get it all done up down below. So so we are putting a rear view mirror on the top of the scuttle there. So once that's done, we're going to look at the heated seats. Not something I'm looking forward to. So we've got to hook up some wiring. So we've put the switches nice and subtly out the way, just under here, the dash. And then we have the wiring that comes out from those switches. And it's got to connect to the wiring from the heated seats and also 2 relays as well. I guess I'm going to be running the wires. I'm going to be pulling this up, which is already tacked. So I'm going to have to pull that up to tuck the wire down in the corner, and then I guess it will just exit down here to the heated seat plug. So that's that. And we've also got to fit runners as well, just to add to the fun. So I've got to leave enough slack in the wire for the seat to be able to go backwards and forwards 4 or 5 inches or something. So that's just terrific. Anyway, we'll get to that. I'm going to do some small wins first, such as the wing mirrors, but we're all looking good there. Everything's all on and nicely lined up, so I'm quite chuffed with the progress so far. Right, so here we are with the heated seats. So first of all, these heated seats have two pads in them. You've got a pad in the base here and a pad up the back. So this is able to go forward, so you can drill straight through into runners or straight into the car. I'm not sure if I can leave this coiled up here, or else you just pull through the slack through there. But the main problem here is this package was supplied by Intertrim, but I mean, this is basically, you know, from eBay or some other supplier. They are wired up wrong. The loom is wired up wrong for a Cobra, because these seats are meant to be plugging into here, which then means that you will be fitting the relay like behind the seat or down the side or something. Which obviously isn't ideal, and then you've got the huge length of wire here that is, you know, to go back to the to go back down the side of the tunnel and up behind the dash. So the idea is, apparently Intertrim said I can extend wires without any detriment to the heated seats. So basically, we need to pretty much just swap these connectors over, so that we've got you know, a long bit of wire all the way down the side of the tunnel, up behind the dash to the relay, and then just a short hop from the relay, etc., you know, to the fuse and plugging it into power and earth. So that's what I'm going to look at next. I'm going to see if I can just use the wires, you know, just pop them out of their connectors and swap the ends over and things. So that I've got this longer sheathed length, all nice as supplied, but with the correct connectors on the end of it. And then on this short end, which will be underneath the dash, we can put the connector for the switch and fuse power and earth. So let me have a look at that for a bit and see what I can work out. Right, so after literally for a couple of hours of just looking and thinking about solutions, where to put all this stuff, I think I've come up with a half decent solution. So I'm aware that these relays get quite hot because they come with this heat reflective stuff that needs to be sort of put against the surface that these are mounted on. So I was really, I really didn't want them anywhere near any other wires. I'd looked for some other easy solutions, like mounting them off the studs here, and just you know, just adding another nut, etc., underneath. But you know, how hot do these get? I didn't want them, maybe, I don't know, probably thinking too far, discolouring any paint that's on top. So I didn't want to mount them there. And there's just a lot of stuff going on here. But in the end, I made the decision just to buzz 3 4mm sort of bolts, hex bolts through there. I'm going to be mounting the relays, one here, and then I've got a mounting point for the fuse, which is like this, but I've got a little metal spade that this will slot into, and then the other fuse will piggyback on top underneath it. So all three units will be under here, and they do not protrude as much as the current setup here, so that's good. So I've got to put my heat reflective stuff just under here, although the only thing under here is or on top of here is the stainless steel cladding, so it's a really quite a good solution to put that there. I'm then going to take a bulk of the wires off to the right, and I have this nice void here where we can get to the left and right heated seat switches, which are around here on the dashboard. And then the other wires, I'm going to have to peel back this carpet here and just a little bit of carpet here, just so I can drop the wires down, and then I'm going to run them along the bottom just behind the carpet to the back to the connectors for the seat. And then the positive and negative wires, which is the fuse is on as well, the negative, the earth and positive, I'm actually going to take off to the left and bring them up with the rest of the wires here straight across, and then we can plug them into an earth and an accessory yellow wire there, I think. Right, so we've had some epic wire lengthening in here. As you can see, these wires have been lengthened to go to the plugs that come out of the elements at the back of the seat. So they'll be tucked underneath. I'm in an error in whether I need to put them in conduit. It seems that this carpet goes up quite high, and then this carpet will be flapped over the top. So I don't really want to do conduit because it will really make quite a large lump. I'd rather just run the wires just underneath and see what they look like. There won't be any risk of chafing, but I will review that to make sure it's safe all the way. And then I will put some conduit from about an inch out the back to where the plugs go in. So that will be in conduit and waterproofed with a bit of heat shrink, etc. So as for underneath the dash, before I drop the phone, so there's my two relays and the two fuses piggybacked on top of each other. So the power goes off to the left and goes up and round like many other wires, and they'll go into an earth and power, and yeah, everything else just goes across. So what have I got left to do here, apart from running the wires to the SPAC? I'm considering whether I need to shorten these wires. So these wires go into the switches that are on the dash. I'd rather not have to shorten the wires, but they are quite a long length, and there is a little bit of length from the switches themselves, so I probably will just take a bit off of that. So we'll see what that looks like in a sec. Alright, so pretty pleased with that, all nice and neat. Actually, I did have to end up using conduit the whole length of the carpet there, because the carpet didn't go up an inch like I'd thought it did at the start. So that's all fine, and the other side is all looking good. So pleased with that. So now I've got to get the heated seat so I can ascertain a decent length to terminate and put these ends back on. And then after that, we're going to have to look at fitting the seat, and I've got to fit runners as well. So I need to make sure I leave enough slack there for the seat to go sort of forward 5 inches or so. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll go and grab a seat now. Right, so with the electrics done here, possibly these fly leads are a little bit long, but I don't want to take any chances with them snagging or being pulled tight when the seat was moved forward. I've gone ahead and installed the runners as per some instructions. So I've got these nice and parallel, so they shouldn't bind. So my thoughts are now that I'm going to put the runners slightly forward, only so I can only just about mark the holes, and be able to, once they're in, be able to just squeeze a bolt in there, just like that. So because I didn't want them very visible in the rearmost position, so I'm going to do that so that I can only just get a bolt in there, and then once I've established the front holes, then I'll be able to put the runners, move the seat right forward, and hopefully you can see here that it's quite limited access, but I'll be able to move the seat as far forward as this to be able to mark the holes and be able to drop a bolt into the rear, and then that should be it. So then when it's moved into when it's all fitted and it's pushed back into its furthermost position, I'm hoping that not too much of this rail is too visible. Unfortunately, the handle is quite sticky outy, but that's as per these rails. I guess when the seat is slid forward a lot, the handle becomes harder to get to, which is why they make it so long. Furthermore, I had to wait for these bolts to be delivered, because I didn't just want to bolt these rails into the seat with a large nut visible, etc., because I didn't want the seat bolster, the seat pad, to be going over these and possibly damage any of the heating elements, or impacting the seat at all anyway. So I wanted these particularly flat ones. You can see they're only about 3 or 4 mil flat hex, and that gives it a nice continues the nice flat surface underneath for fitting. So we're going to have a go at dropping the seat in there, hopefully getting it in the right position with regards, get it centered so that we can get maximum sort of travel, if you like, before it hits the sides at all. And hopefully we'll be able to mark up some holes. Usually I use a short stubby pencil, or preferred is Tipp-Ex actually. So just drop some Tipp-Ex in there, make a hole, and hopefully we're good. So there we go. I've got the seat positioned in. I've made sure that it's all the bolts are sinking into the holes correctly. I've made sure that the back of this isn't constantly up against the paintwork squeaking away. So I think that's quite important. Otherwise that's a real annoyance that you can't do anything about. So I'm happy with that final seating position, and I've got good movement, slide movement, front and back. So the idea is now to fit the carpet back in. All right, so we've got the carpet here, and what I'm going to do is position this correctly, and then we need to just make the holes that it's all going to go in. And the very best method for this, I've found, once you've got that all in a good position, is actually to use an old soldering iron, because it will just melt straight through and make a really nice nice hole exactly where you want it, really nice, and it'll melt the edge so it won't start fraying or anything else like that. So that's what I'm going to do next, is give that proper fitting and melt the holes through, and then we can refit the seat straight back in.
But gotta listen to my fears. But when you're looking like that, it makes my head stop, and I can't have it like that. So please don't call.
So there we are, pretty good actually, pretty happy with that. Both seats in. Not so happy with the slider mechanism, mainly because it requires a push down. So even with some studs underneath here to raise the seat, there's not actually that much movement to push it down, but it does just work. Hopefully it won't be used too much. But of course I can get a small metal bit of pipe on there, bend it up a little bit, and then it'll be more of an angle to be able to push down more easily and slide back and forth. So anyway, we are there. So I just need to finish up the heated seats, the main wiring into accessory power and earth, and that is it. And then we can put the dash back on and explore something else, such as a wooden steering wheel. Right, dash is in, so that's great. Just going to move on to the wooden steering wheel now, but just to note, I've just been chasing my tail for far too long. I put the dash in. I didn't do it up all the way, thankfully, with the wing nuts and everything that hold it in. But basically, my light wasn't working on the start button or on the fan. I was like, what is going on here? You know, I was testing it with a 9-volt battery, etc. And I was checking the wiring, making sure it's going to the right place, making sure the earth was all right. In the end, the bulb inside was loose. So unfortunately, you have to undo the plastic retainer ring a little bit just to pop this forward, because then you can get a fingernail behind this start button and just pop it out. And the bulb was loose, I just pushed it back in. And the same deal, funny enough, on the fan. So that was, I should have checked that first, but you just don't think about it, you know. Never had it before in the last 3 cars, but there you go. So all the wire is a-okay, it was just loose bulbs. So now we're onto the wooden steering wheel. Now this is set up with quite a small adapter there. And this is you know, the boss that can crush in case of an accident. So it's a 6-hole, and you know, which is compatible with the steering column we got from BMW. So we need to change that now, and I'll just give you a flash of the actual part numbers. So we're going to go with this steering wheel here, which I think is very nice. Now this steering wheel, you can just make out the part numbers there, etc. This is all from Europa Spares, I believe. Now this has got a much larger ring, so you need an adapter to change it from there to the smaller ring. So this is the adapter, and that's that part number. But then you want to change this horrible plastic bit, which comes with this little sticky in thing, with this nice billet horn. So so there's the part number for that, and then I think you get with it, you can choose this sticky insert. Is it sticky? Oh, I don't know how I'm sticking that. So maybe it fits in there, you take it apart, or I'll have to put a bit double-sided tape in there or something. So we're going to go for that now. So I'm going to start off with the spacer, obviously, and then we'll fit the horn and everything else, and then get the steering wheel on there. All right, so first thing I'm doing is just double checking that everything's centered. This is the sort of knob that cancels the indicator, so you want that directly in the middle. And then I want really this line here to be as upright as possible. Obviously the wheels, I've just checked, are facing forwards, so I'm pretty happy with that. I guess some fine tuning could be done by adjusting the kind of joints, the track rod ends on the wheels. And to be honest, the tracking probably does need to be looked at anyway. Alright, so I'm hoping this is the only wire I need now. On the previous fitting, you needed another wire go into earth. I basically just squished a wire underneath this joint here. But I think because this ring here has got a metal contact, I think that's doing the earth for us. So I think you just squish this on like that, and we're going to just test the horn. Yes, so that is a right result. Good stuff. No extra wires needed. So that's on, and that just stays on by itself. So then we have to fit the steering wheel. And the steering wheel should just fit straight on over the top, and should be good. Okay, and just a note, I did put a tiny little bit of thread lock on all the 6 pins that we had round there. Now, we've got some nice looking bolts to put the steering wheel on. We've also got this ring here, I'm not quite sure. Okay, so that is a nice sort of finishing ring. Right, and then the bolts go straight through, and they're finished with these caps. Now, do we have the caps? Let's have a look here. So do we have these caps on the front, or just the nice ends of the screws? I think the screws. So let's just get it on there and see what it looks like. And washers and the whole shebang. Okay. Well, not a heck of a lot of room for the washers. They're really needed. There we go, and that goes something like that. All right, so there we go. Really quite impressed with this. I'm sure it's going to not improve access into the car at all, being so big, but it's actually a really nice bit of kit. Touch a thread lock on the back of each one of those. Nice touch to make all the heads go round in the right direction, so that's all good. So I'm going to clean up this center so it's all degreased, and then stick the emblem in there a little later. Now I have also got a wooden gear knob, but that is going on top of a sort of replica gear shaft, which hasn't got the correct end on at the moment, so we're going to leave that and move into the engine bay. And just so you've got the codes for this gear knob and shifter, there's the gear knob, and the angled replica Cobra shifter is that code. So as you can see, quite a nice unit. You just unscrew the top ball there and replace it with the wooden one. Okay, moving on to the engine bay, we've got these stainless steel engine covers, which you know, a Marmite kind of thing. I actually really like them. Once we've peeled off the blue protective, they just add even more bling, and they really match the header tanks here and the washer tank. And I think all the sort of chrome look looks really good. So it comes with a centre kind of plenum as well that fits over the top. So fairly easy to install. They come with a couple of brackets that need to be installed first with this Velcro on. So you once you've fitted everything, they do need a little bit of tweaking because they come almost flat. So you have to put in a slight roll there. Most of that roll is already there, and especially the major roll underneath here is already there. But generally you can flatten and bend the whole lot so that it sits neatly into all the valleys here. Yeah, once that's all done, we peel off this protective off the back of the sticky Velcro. There's some activator to put on as well, so it really sticks. So you squish it down onto the Velcro, then lift it off, and then the Velcro is then stuck to the underside of this, and you give it a bit more pressure just with your fingers, and then you're good to go to reinstall any time. The bottom fits in with a couple of rubber sort of lugs which just pop in and out, so that's dead easy. So you put those two in first, and then push it all forward onto the Velcro, and then the center plenum is also a Velcro thing as well. So we're just getting all lined up here so that it fits nicely over the fuel line, etc., which it will do once it's sitting actually and gripping the Velcro. So that's all really nice. So yeah, I'm just about to fit it all now, so we'll see how that goes. Right, so after installing these plenums, bit of cleaning, bit of sticking down Velcro, etc. Fairly simple. A little bit more tricky on this side because before permanently putting it down, you have to slide in the fuel rail, obviously do it up, spanner it up, and then you can finally click and press down the cover there. So the only thing left to do is to install the middle section, which I read the instructions. I initially was going to put it up here so all the curves meet, but it actually says to put it down the back here. So we're going to try and line that up on the Velcro and put it down. Oh. Try not to get any fingerprints anywhere. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. And we may have to go over it with some cleaning products. They do give full cleaning instructions because obviously it will gradually get dirty. And there we go. Right, a little update here. You saw in season 3 installing the wind wings and the sun visors here, but just a note, there is a correct way round for these hinges, which should be fairly obvious because you've got quite an ugly nylock underneath. But if you use the right hand hinge on the left hand side, then the big nylock is going to interfere with this fitting here if you've got a soft top or something. So having them the right way around won't interfere, so that's all good. And then one viewer told me that on the Series 3 car I had installed the sun visors possibly upside down, but only if you plan to install a soft top, because this large section here was on top in Series 3, and that would impact a roof coming on top of it. So they advised to install them this way round, which is probably the right way around anyway, and then we won't have any problems. So that's fantastic. So I hesitate to say it's my last job because there's bound to be something else, but all I have to do now, I think, is make some registration number brackets. So I'm going to do that. Now I plan to just cut a thin sheet of aluminium that's going to be held in place by the boot lock and the two screws there. So it's just going to be totally hidden, totally shaped around the lock, and then it's going to come up a little bit larger, just to give something for a number plate to be glued or sealed onto. So that's what I'm going to do next. So there we go, then there's my bracket. Really pleased with this. It's just a 1mm sheet of aluminium shaped underneath the boot lock there, and then it just expands out into a kind of square shape, just enough to get me some tiger seal on there to bond this registration number 2. And no holes required to drill in the body, so I think it's a really neat solution there. Just took out a little edge at the top there. I guess I could have filed it a little bit more neatly there, but basically well chuffed. Now this might flap about with a bit of wind when you're hammering down the motorway. Just put a couple of bits of really soft foam behind underneath. Of course, I could just bend the aluminium forward just a touch, just to relieve any pressure. But I guess if there is any painful air in, then that's just going to be always hidden by a number plate anyway. So really pleased with that solution. So I've got to do the front number plate next. And there's my front number plate fitted. It's got some adjustment in it, a couple of mil up, down, left, right, so we can straighten it if it's not quite accurate, but I think it's pretty good. And it's just a small bracket that comes out. Let's see if I can give you a shot there. There's a small bracket there, just fitted up underneath. So good, all done. Now, I was going to show you the soft top. Now, I'm only going to show you part of the soft top because I'm loath to start dragging a cover over here and possibly causing some sort of issue or scratch when I've got to hand this car over to its owner. But I will show you just a couple of things, how it kind of goes together. Okay, so let's look at the roof. Now, these can be flat packed. Just undo this butterfly bolt, and this arm swings down so that it all hinges and goes flat. Now, I think you have to assemble both sides of this, and I'm pretty confident then these slide into each other. So I'm just going to do that, and then I think this pin here drops down onto the rear pin here, and this then creates the rear sort of support over here for the roof, and kind of holds it above and over the rear these roll bars. So I'm just going to put that on carefully, being especially careful not to put any undue tension on these fittings, because I don't want any paint or top coat to clear coat to crack. So we'll give that a shot. Right, so it seems I was correct with that fitting, and that dropped in really quite easily and nicely. The next step is the windows, I guess. Now, interestingly, the windows will not fit with wind wings in, because this front rubber obviously needs to be up close against the windscreen there, and the hinges of the wind wings hinder that. And you can't get this, you can't get the bottom pin in because this is just all in the way here, this bottom hinge. So it looks like we've got, you're going to need to carry a screwdriver around with you in case you're doing some summer driving, but you get a rain shower, just to whip these wind wings off. Maybe have a little protective cover to chuck them in the boot. And then these side windows will just drop in. So they're just going to drop in. So this is all quite good. You've got a flexi waterproof, I guess, shield here. That's going to drop down and just hang over the bodywork and protect yourself from any rain coming in, I guess. And of course, this window slides as well, which is a nice touch. So you can still go to your drive-throughs. But yeah, so you would do all that, and then you would sling the cover over and start popping it into place. So you've got all these rear pins here to pop the cover into place. I think these front pins are for a tonneau cover. So then they would stretch to the front pins here, dotted around near the vents, etc. So those won't be used for the roof. The roof is just going to come straight over. It's going to want to clip underneath these clips, and I think you can just pull that down tight, and it'll pull itself down tight over the top of the windscreen. So I'll show you the cover now. So first the tonneau cover. So this is quite a nice example here. So the funny fittings on the back of each door, they would fit through here and then twist to hold that in place. And then we've got all the poppers to to fit around. And this is the top view, so actually not too bad to look at actually. And it looks like you can pull these up to release the poppers and remove it from your car. So that's quite a nice touch there. All right, so we'll just start with the underside of the roof here. Really nice. So all this kit is supplied by AK, around 3,000 fitted, something like that, but do inquire. So you can see here, this is the front, and this channel fits over the windscreen, and these locks here, they would go onto the clips, yeah, you would just clip them underneath the clips on the side of the windscreen, pull it down tight, and they would clamp into place. So that's really good. I guess these bits, these flaps hang over the windows, and this is all nice and soft to fit around the back of your car. And again, you've got all the poppers and studs to pop in there. So not bad. Now, if you didn't have the wind wings, I'm guessing you can get all this up well within a couple of minutes. The supporting bars, they fit nicely, and the windows just slide in, and then you just put the cover over carefully. There's a fair amount of weight in this cover, so you don't want to be smashing this against your bodywork, I don't think. You need to be very careful. You know, still do it with a one man, I would presume, but better with two on one on each side. But yeah, not sure how long this plastic will put up with being folded, but at the moment it's a really nice bit of kit. So there we go, that's it fitted into the boot without the tonneau cover in there. So it's going to limit your golf club space, but if maybe you can utilise the top shelf there, make some sort of a pouch or something with a couple of straps, a bit of Velcro, then you should be able to support most of this stuff up on that top shelf. But yeah, really quite nice, and gives you that all-day motoring security in case it showers. So I'll just disassemble this top support here and fold them up and add them to the boot. Well, that was a pretty epic build. Thanks for sticking with me. It's been quite a long build. I think at one point we were on for about 8 or 9 months. Unfortunately, the car went to the paint shop and was there for four and a half months, and then on to get a soft top fitted and onto the trimmers. So that set us back quite a few months. Otherwise, it would have been quite a quick build. As it was, I ended up seeing 2 winters and some -5. But as soon as you put a woolly hat on, you're generally okay. Really pleased how it all turned out. We've got all the bling on there, and it looks really good for it actually. All the wind wings and visors and nudge bars, looks really good. So hopefully the new owner will be pleased with it. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for liking. Please subscribe. We're really close to 1,000. Hopefully I can start getting a couple of pence in and do some more lighting and look at my next project. So that's it. I'm going to close up and get it started and get it moving on. I'll see you again.